flag with your hand over your heart and honor America with a singing of our national anthem by one of the stars of Beauty and the Beast, Julia Hildebrand.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and rocket and the warm bursting air gave proof to the night that our blood was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That's the way we started, ladies and gentlemen. Don't stop, stand back up. Stand right back up. Batman, are you ready? Here we go with the Quincy fight song. Was here hard to hear? Okay, we'll do that for the band practice, the community band practice right now. We'll show you that in a second. I want to give a little introduction in terms of understanding the history of this gym. In the winter of 1959-1960, the Quincy Community School Board of Education comprised of Blake Kerr, Dane Hancock, Amy Broad, Elmer Dobson, Jack Fowler, Franklin Crafter, and Harold Schultz. And is Harold here? The audience might try to make it, wasn't sure if he would, but Harold is the only living member of the Board of Education at this time. And then the superintendent, Elwood Larson, had the vision to put together a bond issue to put in front of the Quincy School District to build a new high school. On March 31st, 1960, the voters of this district approved an $8 million levy to build a new high school. The total cost of the project would be $1.268 million. That's right, $1.2 million, unlike today. And did you catch the $8 million levy? Yeah, that's a big step for this community, huge. What an awesome thing they did. This gym, the coolest gym in Michigan, was designed by Lewis C. Kingston Associates and was built by Baker Baker Bean Construction Company out of Grand Rapids. The work was finished in the fall and winter of 1961, and the first men's basketball game was played on January 12, 1962. The high school will be formally dedicated on February 4th, 1962. The Colorado Reporter described the gym this way. One of the focal points of the school is the gymnasium, with its 2,000 seating capacity and dual regulation floors that can be used separately by drawing a giant folding wall that divides the gym in the center. That's, of course, been replaced by our curve. The unusual construction features laminated beam arches finished in natural pine, making a high vaulted ceiling. Hammered glass windows are featured over the entranceways. And it went on to describe the locker rooms and the heating system and a bunch of other things. It's a really cool article. Tonight, through the vision of our Quincy forefathers and the tenacity of our small town Quincy pride, and an unrivaled goal, we are celebrating the fact that the Quincy Community School District has the coolest gym in the state of Michigan. Tonight we're going to hear a couple of speakers who will help us remember what makes this gym and what our whole community so great. Let's begin with our longtime postmaster and a member of the, I think, 64 graduating class. Is that correct? 64 graduating class. He also played on the very first men's basketball game on this court in the 61-62 season. Mr. Dennis Smith.
First of all, I want to thank Dave and whoever organized this. Thank you for inviting me to represent that team. I have to clarify a few things at my age. I get a little weak, so if I do, you have to bear with me. But if I pass out, we'll call it. So prior to 1962, we played our games and our practices in the middle school cafeteria. If you young guys can imagine that. But that was where we played our games. And boy, did it get hot. It got really hot. The biggest thing that I remember in the transition from there to here was when we ran baseline to baseline. I never did like running, but I hated it more after we were done with that. In the first home game of 1962, we played Litchfield, and we won that game. We won that game 50. Don't remember. 59-41. We played Litchfield once. And just so that I don't get all the credit for that, I'm going to tell you the rest of the team. Some of you are going to remember these. Some of you never heard of them. And it's not true that I'm the only living survivor. We had Dick Harvey, Leroy Long, Sam Dodd, Bob Wilson, Jim Willen, Bob Baker, Martin Anthony, Rick Barrett, Tom Puckett, and Eric Gilder. Those are the players and managers. And like I said, we won that game. And the JV won that game, their game also. So the first game in this gym was terrific. Now I also don't want to take credit for the rest of the season by myself because that's the only game we won. And so those guys have to take credit for that. Ron Michael, our coach, and he, in the following year, though, we got a winning season. Baker said it was the first winning season since 1951. That was in 1960. this is my own take on it. Our enjoyment, our pride, and all of that is wonderful. The teams that we've had here are great. The events that go on here are super. The relationships and friendships that have been built here are great. But the real hero of this voting belongs to the janitor, you don't call it, the custodial engineers that take care of this, the administration and the school board that realize the value of this asset. Those are the heroes of this voting. Pat Cook taking a nice school picture did pretty easy. But I remember that first game. I had no idea if I even played in it, to be honest with you. I couldn't find any scores. But anyway, there were two sophomores and freshmen along with the seniors and juniors. So that's what I remember most. Just the size difference, the beauty of the gym, and the camaraderie that was experienced on the team that I played with. So thank you for inviting me. I share your enthusiasm and keep it up.
Now to give a word of thanks, we have our mayor, the mayor of Quincy, Mrs. Karen Harvey.
Well, I remember coming to this gym back in my high school days because I went to Brunson, a rival school, and we came, and we came to a dance over here, and I remember seeing the Super Bowl gymnasium, and I thought, it is just wonderful to have something like this here. And now that I am here, and I've been here almost 38 years in Quincy, I am so proud to be here, proud that we are now the coolest gym, and it's something that we can use as a marketing tool for Quincy in a positive point. And I want to thank anybody who's ever had anything to do with keeping the gym the way it is, and it's wonderful to have it here. Thank you very, very much. I'm proud.
Now it's time to thank the guy who got us into this mess. Patrick Cook, if you step right up here. You took some really cool pictures. They're awesome. I really like the one that we still have up here. I don't know if you know, but your dad's over the mountain or on the right-hand side. I wish we could come on this. Yeah, our screen. It's really cool. Pat, you did an awesome thing for our community, and we just appreciate you putting us out there and making us look incredible. Our gym is obviously the most beautiful gym, and you made your pictures the coolest gym in Michigan. So thank you very much. The next speaker I brought in, maybe selfishly. When I was a child, I was in 5th grade and my brother Brett was a senior. And I got to sit usually right under that basket. They didn't put the baskets up so we could head on it once in a while. But I used to sit right up in that area, right where past the Moore, the Elwall, Oregon, those things over there. And if I sat by the right girl, high school girl, I thought I was really cool. I didn't have to very well. But I got to watch that 1978 team play, and it was awesome. Mark Lovelace would come up here and speak. I remember down here on this end of the court, somebody made a shot, and honestly, I don't think I've ever seen somebody jump so high. And they took it out of the air at the peak, and I thought, that's a great line. Now the official, yeah, it was a little weird. He called him a goaltender. Mark, I thought it was a good quality watch. So, Mark Longberry, if you'll come out.
Isn't it great that the rest of the state of Michigan knows what we have known all along? You know, I found myself as I left Quincy High, I found myself talking about basketball to other basketball players. But it wasn't specifically about the game, the wins and losses, although that did help. It was about the atmosphere. It was about what this gym brings to a player that's on the floor. And for anybody that's played here, a Friday night at Quincy High School with the Pep Band, that's where they were when I played, believe it or not. And a packed gym, much like this on both sides. There wasn't any place in the state of Michigan to be but right here. The energy, the enthusiasm, and the memories that were built here. And that wasn't just from the players that were on the court, but that was by everybody that was in the gym that made that memory. It was home court advantage. Quincy was, and probably always will be, a place on the schedule of the opponent that they really don't want to come here and play. And I think what I really, especially watching tonight, was my kind of basket. Brutal inside. Way to wear it down, guys. But that was the memories. That's what these guys will take away. Not just the play that's on the court, but the backing that they had from the community, from the fans, from the student body, and from the energy that was drawn from the Pep Band. And the place that was held, the coolest gym in Michigan. Thank you.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege of recognizing two Big Eight championship teams. The first is one that we don't normally get to in front of a group like this, but they're very deserving of being recognized this year. The Quiz Bowl team has won the Big Eight Conference. They went to the semifinals of the Quizbusters WKAR competition, and if you don't know how tough that is, it's just a bugger. The best go there, and we only got beat by that fancy homeschool. Now that didn't make much sense to me. I'm not sure how that applies to school. But we won several other tournaments, and now we're heading on to the state Quiz Bowl tournament in April. If the Quiz Bowl team come out here, I'd like you to get a round of applause. this is incredible. To see the support you have for this school is awesome. And the Friday night board meeting was one of those nights with every seat was taken. The other team didn't even know what to do because we had so many people. But that carried on just to this town. We went to Union City, and honestly, we had a good time. And then we went to Concord, and I bet we were 3 to 2 on people there. They couldn't even sit us on one side of the bleachers. They had to give us some of their seats. And boy, was some of the other people mad. And then we had this group of guys up there who did their job. Ladies and gentlemen, the Big Eight champion, Quincy basketball.
Wow, this is really cool. I'd just like to take a moment to just thank everyone for the entire season of support that you give our basketball team. It's incredible what you guys have done, what these guys have done. I was asked a lot of questions about the gym. Everywhere I went, it seemed like everybody was talking about the gym to me. It was really exciting because we were winning, not only the contest, but winning a lot of basketball games too. So it just kind of fed off each other, and it just kept growing like a monster. It just getting bigger and bigger. And I couldn't believe it. Every time I looked up in the morning, we might be losing. By evening, we were winning the competition. And it was just a blast. I just remember playing here as a player, and it was like Mr. Loveberry said, what an exciting atmosphere it was. And this year, with all the wins and everything, the success of our team, this could be a year we're going to remember for a long time. So thank you very much for your support.
Mr. Royce, I'd like to remind you that we have a game on Wednesday. We're playing at Hillsdale High School against Bronson. Bronson's going to the number one man. Bronson. It's in Hillsdale at 7:30 p.m. Hillsdale High School, yes. All right, and this time I get to introduce a guy who played basketball, coached basketball. He's probably a living historian of this gym. He probably bleeds more orange and black than any person I could ever know. He was my coach, and a man that I respect a whole lot, Mr. Chuck Cook.
All right, first of all, I didn't sign up for this game. This is the last place that I feel comfortable in front of a group like this. And I'm not a good speaker. And I will do my best, but because I can't have written very well, I have some things written down. I'm doing a lot of reading, and I may get choked up. So here we go. First of all, I'm honored to be asked to be part of this community celebration, honoring Michigan Schools Gym. I'm not only going to speak for myself tonight, but also for coaches that have come before me. And I'd like to start with Ron White. Ron's the only boys basketball coach to coach in both of the gyms. Dennis already covered that, and I don't want to repeat a lot, but anyway, Ron coached Quincy from 1961 to 1968. And it was Ron that turned fortunes in Quincy basketball. From 1951 until 1962, Quincy's basketball record was 27 wins, 127 losses. And during those seasons, there was no winning seasons. We finished last 7 out of the 11 seasons. And during that time, we had 7 separate head coaches. Not a lot of continuity except making the loss. Ron was teaching in Picasso. When he decided to consider the move, his colleagues questioned his decision. They said, why would you consider leaving the great Michigan up north with a middle of nowhere? And this is Ron's answer. Ron said, they're building a gym. 12,000 square feet, room for 2,000 games, and it's going to be beautiful. Ron showed up next fall. He was the assistant football coach and the head basketball coach. Ron watched the construction of this gym. He told me that he watched the latest sport on board by board. And I believe it. Dennis talked about the ball game. They're the first ball game played in this gym. And again, I repeat, January 12, 1962, the Oilers defeated Litchfield. He was correct on the score, 59-41, and it was the only win that season. In talking to Ron, he called it $1 million game. It only cost us $1 million to build this gym so we can get one win. The Detroit Lions exhibition group came in. Shortly after the gym was built, one of their players, the place maker, decided to do a little demonstration. He was going to drop kick a basketball in the basket. Well, he missed the backboard, hit one of the windows, and broke it. And according to Ron, the audience was shocked, horror. They just couldn't believe that one of the windows in their gym had been broken. They asked the Lions to pay up for what they did. I spoke to Ron last week. I kept in touch with him somewhat over the years. He was my varsity basketball coach my junior year. I spoke to him and told him a little bit about the contest. And then I told him what the results were. He kind of chuckled and he said, Michigan Schools Gym, I could have told him that. And that's how I felt about Jim. He truly loved it. Following Ron White was Jack Feller, and a lot of you probably know Jack, or they were taught by Jack. And he was also a varsity basketball coach of mine, so I know him pretty well. Jack enjoyed the big games at Quincy. Big rivals for his tenure here were Omar Concord. And he also loved the tradition of the opening season game played on Wednesday nights before Thanksgiving. And it was always a big game. Jack recalls the packed gymnasium with fans standing in the lobby watching through the windows. There were a few more windows on this end of the gym, and they were nice when it was so full in here that people would stand in the lobby and watch through the windows. Jack's son Rick recalls the noise from them being so loud that it made his skin crawl. Imagine that. And then there was something that started during Jack's tenure here. How many of you remember the Ann Ludlow cheer? And we go through the assemblies quite often during pep assemblies, and then when we ask during ball games, we come down and do this cheer. I think Mr. Small wants to say that a little bit later, we can give you a quick demonstration of that. You had to be here to appreciate it, but we'll try. The next coach of the line is Doug Johnson. Doug was here from 1979 to 1988. And Coach Johnson brought a real exciting brand of basketball here. Jack is a defensive guy, and he'd be happy if the score was 41-39. You would think that was a great game. Coach Johnson on the other game was a little more wide open than basketball. His team played a lot like the Star team playing this year. And again, Coach Johnson loved rivalries, he loved the big games, he loved the big wins. One other little thing you may remember talking about the Johnson era, Richard Zapp would always attend a lot of college games at Hillsdale College. He came back to school one day at varsity club meetings. He said, "Hey, you know what they do at Hillsdale College? Win blocks, 2x4s, chunks something like this." So we thought, well, we'll give it a try. We cut out maybe 50 or something like that, handing them out to our students. Can you imagine? Just a preview. Can you imagine 50 students doing that for a game? Well, the little blocks were up a lot. That didn't last very long. During Doug's tenure here, also was the beginning of a series of cold water. And while Coach Johnson never won one of those games against cold water, those were some good games. They brought a big crowd, we had a big crowd. And the competition was just like we wanted. It was tough. We had good games with cold water, and unfortunately we never won one for Doug, but it made the wins in the future against cold water. That was sweet. Russ was a long-time rival. Quincy, especially during Doug's years here. That rivalry really heated up. Russ had a couple of brothers, Garber brothers, and they were big kids, great players. One went on to the University of Yale and was a star there. Anyway, the Garbers and the rest of the Vikings seemed to be unstoppable during tournament play. And early in the 1980s, the underdog Warriors knocked them out of the tournament twice in district play, when they were favored to go well into the tournament. Much to the delight of Quincy fans. Because at that time, again, they were coached by a gentleman by the name of Bill Solano, who didn't lose many games. And Bill was the kind of guy that when he watched his competitor, he didn't care about him. Okay, so he would be a good man. After Doug was done, I stepped in for a few years. I was here as head coach from 1988 to 2006. And during my years as head coach, I tried to honor this place, tried to honor the atmosphere, its sounds, unique location of our bench. We sat underneath basketball and things like that for a long time, as did Coach White and Coach Johnson. During my tenure, we had the finest step band in all of Michigan, I would say. At that time, Jason Farrell was in charge of the pep band, and they rocked. They had electric guitars, and they had every instrument you could imagine, and it was a big group, and again, they shook the place. During my pregame meetings with the coaches' conversation returned to the great atmosphere and excitement in our gym. Then the opposing coach would ask, "Is the pep band going to be here tonight?" And I would say, "Yeah, they're going to be here." And then they would say, "Who is that wild man that beats the pep band?" Many of you remember Jason Farrell. He was in distinct memory for me. Also during my time, our ball games usually begin with a famous introduction. Mark Bartelli, want to stand up?
Oh, yeah.
Mark Bartelli was sitting about in the middle of the gymnasium right there, and just before our games would start, Mark had a little battle cry. You want to do it one time, Mark?
You got to respond the first time. Hey, Quincy! Let's get ready to rumble!
Then after Mark got us started, the entire fan section would stay standing until we made first pass. Sometimes that came quickly, sometimes it didn't. But they would stand until we made our first pass, which that helped. One other coach that coached under me, and then of course was the women's coach for a long time, Bob Stewart. I talked to Bob today. In fact, I think Bob was supposed to be here rather than me, since he was out of the area, and they moved down to line to me. But Bob's greatest memory were his post-game meetings. After they returned from away games, they arrived, in front of the gym and dropped them off the bus, they come into the gym. And he said when he walked through the gym at night to open the locker room doors for the girls, he said it was quiet, it was empty, it was quiet, and it was his time to reflect on the game they just finished. He likened it to a church, a sacred, calming place. He said we often meet as a team at center court with all the lights out and talk about the game. One of those meetings with the previous players he said lasted until after midnight. They sat and talked. Life does. One more little quick story. Steve Brower, Coach Athens, Coach Moore, Coach Hillsdale, and he's still in Hillsdale area, I guess. And anyway, he was talking to Brad Felix, who's the head coach over at Hillsdale. He said, "Hey Brad, where do you play tonight?" Brad replied, "Quincy." Steve Brower just kind of sighed, the cathedral. I think he was talking about this place. He called it the cathedral. I love that. Now, personally, a couple of my quick reflections. They mentioned that I did play here. And I remember how the gym was swept for games. Our custodial staff was washing all the windows in the gym lobby before every game because they knew there would be people standing out there watching the game. They had big rubber mats they pulled out in front of the bleachers so no one would walk on the wooden floor with wet shoes, dirty shoes. Custodians dusted off all the bleachers, all the seats on the bleachers, so they were clean when people would come in. I was sometimes 17. As a player, I could look around in the crowd and I know exactly where my mother was. I knew exactly where different community members would be sitting, and I was that covered. I made great many friends here in this place. Both coaches, officials, players. I'm going to disagree a little bit with Mark. Love their talk a few minutes ago. Coaches that brought their teams here enjoyed the excitement, but they felt their players something to jump higher. Amen. I think it had something to do with the adrenaline, something to do with the excitement, but they always felt they could jump higher. Dan Lovell, Mike Wicked, that were 80s here for a time, loved this place too. We would have post-game get-togethers after the early game, hash over our upcoming games in the spot. And just like Bob Stewart, there were many a night when I was the last one to leave here after making phone calls to the newspaper, radio stations, and whatnot. And I'd walk through the gym and talk and park out of that. I'd walk through this gym, you could still smell popcorn, you could still smell, lack of a better term, the sweat of the competition. It was almost like you could see players still out. One of the things that makes this gym special for me is watching my boys and now my grandchildren play this place where I can be so long. Not to close, imagine this. One day my son Patrick comes to me and says, Dad, I want to take a picture. About that, he wanted to take a picture. And he wanted to know, he said, can you get me into the gym? I said, sure. So he came in and what started out as a picture became a series of pictures. And some of them came probably in my home right now, and some of them were on their way to the internet. Maybe it was just a silly post by him live. Maybe it was something more. But it made us realize what a special place it is. And it has been for so many people for so many reasons. Thank you.
Our final speaker for tonight, before we just have a little bit of fun, is our superintendent, Mr. Craig Curtis.
Wow, there's a lot of excitement in this room. And you know, I haven't been here all that long, and I remember interviewing and coming away saying, you know, this is quite an interesting gym. Because it was not only interesting, but they referred to it as the new gym. And I thought, wow. So it is dear in everyone's heart, and it is cool that the state of Michigan going in as the movie gym in the state of Michigan. That is so neat. The one thing that I kind of sit back and wonder is there 222,000 votes in here? One of the things that kind of reminds me, once the voting was taking place, there was a second round, there was the first round, second round, and everybody was voting. There were over 200,000 votes. We all talk about teamwork when we're talking about basketball or any kind of other athletics. And, this is teamwork, where everybody gets together, everybody stands together, everybody supports one another. And I don't think I can think of a better example of what happened in the last couple of weeks of our community standing together. And so congratulations to all of you. What a great thing. Before I forget, I do have a few thank yous, and I know that I cannot follow the likes of a Chuck Cook or Mark or someone like that, but let me just, could I get what current board members are here tonight just to stand up and be recognized? They're kind of the heart and soul of how the same runs. Thank you, and if you have a chance, give them a slap on the back. They make this thing running smooth, and they're a great bunch to work with and work for. Also, I would like to thank you for coming out tonight as well. This shows great support for the school this year, great support for the young people that play, that are in activities, whether it's band or other fine arts or drama or any program that the school has, you participate, you come to it, you support it. And that is all we can ask for, because you're the driving force of what makes Quincy successful. We learn here, we lead here, and we succeed here. And I think your kids are in great shape to go out in the world. And I think when they voted, I think I saw votes from all around the world. So they're everywhere. Okay? Q has put their trademark on every aspect of the world. So we do thank you for that. And also the custodial staff. over the years, and I still want to personally, but I've kept this place as good as it can be, over and over, year after year. So that's the why it's such great shape, because of the service. I just want to say, I know that I had an opportunity to stand in front of a group of community members and say, thank you for supporting the bond issue last spring. We are about ready to break ground. The only question I have is, what do we call the new gym? The new gym? But anyway, we'll work on that. Like I said, little gym, or maybe newer gym, or something like that. So, thank you. And also, we're going to tell other roads in the last year, like the city fund, and also the millage that you passed as a community. We thank you for all those supports that you give us. So, thank you, and carry on. Go Warriors.
All right, I'm going to do a couple of things right now, and then I'm going to close. Mr. Cook is going to help me out with this tonight. Let's do the whole thing. Are you on your bell?
Together, you guys are together.
All right. Our members are a little cloudy. Maybe mine was this. If you know what we're doing, I'm just going to say left, I'll stand up. All right, if you know what we're doing, I may stand up. We'll do it twice. Once for the people who know what we're doing, and then the second time for everybody else.
It goes to maintain, fight. Okay.